Hi, I'm Sarah Noble, your host for the Modern Day Intuitive Podcast. For over 25 years, I've been on a spiritual journey, searching, learning, expanding, and growing. I've traveled the world, led by my heart, on a quest to know myself so that I can support others. This podcast was created from my deep desire to help you connect with your intuition and to inspire you to create a life where the impossible becomes possible and you live into your sacred dreams and desires. Thanks for being here and enjoy the show. Hello, my loves. Welcome to the show today. I love having you here. We have another wonderful reading today with Heather Vinesky. And Heather comes to us looking for guidance on where to focus her energy as she takes her passion work from part-time to full-time. And through this reading and conversation, we discuss overserving and overgiving to others and how it depletes your energy, the importance of sourcing dense energy from the planet to support your spiritual journey. We look at how, as humans, we came here to be embodied and connected to our body and the earth, especially as spiritualists, and how it is crucial to include fun and play in your life, and that you always have the power to choose to feel freedom everywhere you go. It is not something that comes from outside you. It lives inside you. We also look at how you are not limited by your circumstances, but rather you are limited by what you think is possible. And we also dive into how important it is to not give your sovereign power away to your spirit guides. You are the one in the body. You are the one that gets to choose. One of the things I love about this reading is how it lines up with the free gift I offer, Ignite Your Intuition. One of the practices inside of that free gift is called Sourcing Your Power. And it's a meditation that really gives you access to the power that's available to you from the earth. It's the low frequency, dense energy that the earth gives us to run our lives, to support our dreams, to help us engage with her deeply. Inside that gift, you have access to that meditation to begin practicing what that looks like for you. What does that feel like? So you can find a link in the show notes for that gift, Ignite Your Intuition, and the meditation inside there. Before we dive into our call, I'd love to tell you a little bit about Heather and the work she's doing in the world. And Heather is an evidential medium, intuitive psychic, and a mediumship development teacher. She has been connecting with those on the other side since she was young, though it was only in recent years that she became aware of and stepped into the depth of her abilities. She has always felt called to provide healing to those around her and enters each session with the goal of facilitating her clients' healing through the loving messages and energetic connections she receives. There's information and links to find Heather in the show notes. Please check her out. She's just a beautiful lady. I so enjoyed this reading with her. Enjoy the show, my loves. Namaste. Hi, Heather. Welcome to the podcast. How can I help you today?
Hi, Sarah. Thank you for having me. Today, I want to get some direction or guidance on my work, which for the past 2 years has been a part-time evidential psychic medium. And I'm really feeling like the push to start doing this as my primary or only work. And I'm feeling like it's coming, but there's a little impatience there and wanting some guidance on, what I should be aware of and maybe a little bit of what's coming next or, what kind of opportunities I should be looking for. I know that message of patience is in there as well, but just really looking for some guidance on where I should be focusing my energy and my attention.
Yeah. What's your energy level, your health? Because you're showing me the lower part of your body. I'm feeling really cold sensations in my back and my hips, running down my legs, and the sense of you over exerting yourself, caring for others.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, that definitely makes sense. My lower back and hips and into my legs is kind of where I carry my stress. And when I notice that part of my body starting to tense and tighten and get sore, it's a message for me to check in sort of a little higher in my brain and my heart to see what it is that I'm carrying, what I'm trying to avoid, what I'm storing there.
Yeah. How do you feel that relates to your work? Like this idea of wanting to increase and move more full time into this calling?
Honestly, when I think about my work, that sort of tension isn't there. It's really where I feel the most relaxed, the most confident, the most in alignment. And I think it's maybe some of the other more, the other things that I have to do or need to do so that I can earn money to sort of make up the difference. And a lot of that tends to be caring for others, whether or not it's in that work or, I'm a mother. And so I'm caring for adolescent and pre-adolescent people and worrying about them and caring about what happens to them and what's going on with them. So I think when I'm thinking about where that particular body feeling is happening, it's not happening in work as much as it's happening in other parts of my life.
Okay. As you're talking, you're showing me your mama bear, like, rawr.
Yeah, that's accurate.
She's so fiercely protective of everybody.
Yes.
And it's not supporting you. It's not serving you. Like there's an imbalance in how much you're giving to others. And like the feeling in my body, the lower part that is significant. Like it really wants us to pay attention to it. Like it keeps coming back and saying, like, we need to talk about this because it's not okay. And so what I understand from my journey and being in the world of spirit and channeling and supporting others through what we can't see, we expend a lot of energy. And we oftentimes aren't taught how to source energy correctly to support the amount of spiritual information that we are bringing in. So you've got things happening from different areas where there's this work that is supporting you financially, but not emotionally, mentally, spiritually. You've got some over caring of family members, and then you are in love with this other part of what you do. And yet, because there's so much of your body that's being taxed by these other avenues, when you now are adding in this spiritual piece, it requires energy. Like you have to be able to source your power to bring down the information for others. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. Yes, absolutely. I mean, that is really a priority, a daily priority for me to put time aside to sit in my power and to connect with my guides and to receive that energy from source so that I can go out into the world and then channel for others.
Yeah. So I see it like a triangle, like if it was a stool with three legs, and that leg, it's the spiritual leg that feels weakest right now for you. That's the place that you can call back energy to. That's the place right now that you can put a focus on to balance things out, is the way that I'm seeing it. What are your practices like when you say, like, you sit with your guides and you bring in energy? Give me an example of what that looks like.
Sure. So from the outside, it looks like meditation. And it very much is, but it's very intentional where I am sitting for 30 to 60 minutes a day, connecting with source, asking for, guidance, whatever is needed in the moment, and just really trying to be as open to receiving, whether that's energy, whether it's messages or ideas. And so really that is like dedicated time where I'm kind of turning myself over to source and to my guide team to do, whatever is needed in the moment without expectation. So I'm not asking specifically, like, tell me this or give me this, or, like directing them. I'm really saying, like, I'm here, I'm open, show or give me whatever it is that you feel like I need in this moment.
Okay, thank you. Would you say in that practice, you're going up or you're going down?
Oh, I'm going up.
Okay, so that's the place.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's more up, right? Where we're here together, I'm going up, right? To your guides, to my guides. There's spiritual information coming in because the higher frequency spiritual information carries the data, carries the information. Then, because we're human beings, our lower chakras, we have a lower frequency that we receive from the earth that is the part that balances out and brings power so that we can channel high frequency to collect the information.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're not going down as much as you're going up, it's going to create an imbalance.
Okay. How do I go down?
So it's going to be getting really in touch with this lower part of your body. It makes sense, right? That you hold your stress there and that's what we're looking at because you're focusing on the upper part of the chakra system and up into the spiritual world, which is what we're taught. Like, I don't want you to think I'm making you wrong in any way with that. Like, that's just what we're taught as spiritualists. And this down piece is more about being embodied, being in the lower chakras, being inside of the earth and feeling the power of the earth and sourcing from that lower vibrational pulse that comes through the earth.
That's so interesting too, because this morning in therapy, my therapist said something like, I really think something that we need to be working on right now is getting you back in your body.
Yeah.
Yeah. So all of that is very much resonating. And I was like, I think that's a worthy goal because I do spend a lot of time consciously and unconsciously, somewhat disconnected from my body.
Yeah. And in this work, right, that's part of what we do. And so it's really having that awareness of that we still live inside this body. And, for me, practicing connecting from being inside my body, not needing to go anywhere to be with you, feeling into you and experiencing you and receiving information, being very embodied.
Right.
So I get the sense too, like what they're saying is part of the reason that your business isn't moving forward, maybe at the way you want it to, is because of this. Like you're being protected because too much, like you couldn't do what you're doing full time. You would essentially like fry yourself or blow
Yes.
yourself
Yeah.
up.
And I even know that, like, full time in my mind is doing maybe 6 to 8 readings a week, like connecting with 6 to 8 clients a week, and then maybe teaching a class and a circle. It's definitely not what we think of in our culture as full time, a 40-hour,
Yeah,
that's
we just
totally
can't. Yeah.
yeah, that I would be completely burnt out after the first week.
Yeah. Even doing that, if you don't do this piece, it will get hard for you.
Mm-hmm. No, I
Okay.
agree. Mm-hmm.
So really, like as you're in this place of navigating the changes and what's coming and how do you move into this as a more sustainable work you're doing, this is an important piece for you. And as you get stronger in this, I see it like doors opening, like, okay, now you're safe to go do this more. Like you're just being protected from being too much in it now until you regulate this or you balance this.
Okay, that makes sense. And I really have tried to look at it in the way of like everything is unfolding in the time that it should, that trying to force it or push it or overdo it is not the answer here. It's more like the allowing is key.
Yeah. And I would add to that the play, the fun, the laughter, the excitement.
Mm-hmm.
How much of that do you have in your life right now?
Well, I feel like I'm coming out of a period of not enough of that, but really, that it was a hard winter for us as a family. Just there was just a lot of different things going on. It just felt like we were being bombarded. And I feel like, we're coming out of that. We're strong, we're together, we're connected, but I think we're all really ready to have fun and to have some lightness and to have things kind of go our way in a way that's some ease, I guess is the word I'll use. We're welcoming ease, we're welcoming play. Kids are talking about like, when can we go on another trip? Like, when can we do these fun things? And there's space now that we didn't have for the last few months that I think we're all looking forward to filling it with more of that fun and connection, that kind of thing.
Yeah, that feels really good for you. It feels that if you create that as your focus and less about the money and what you're doing and how it's going to work, that's going to expand you to see opportunities that you can't see right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. The truth is the money part of it, it's like, I think I've been working a lot sort of internally with that. And this idea of like, it's not the money that I want. It's the freedom to not have to worry about money and to be able
my language
to do the things that we want to do and experience in this world. And, we have to live in a world where we need money to survive and to do these things. And so really it's a means to an end. It's not the end.
Yeah, no, I mean, that speaks so deeply to my heart because it is. And my word for this year is freedom. Because it is the thing that's important. It's like, and the money facilitates that. The money supports that. And choosing freedom, being freedom inside of whatever the circumstances are that you're living inside of. Like, you don't need to wait until you can take the vacation. You don't need to wait until things are easy. You don't need to wait until everything lines up. You can choose to feel freedom every moment, at any moment.
Yes, that's a wonderful reminder because I do feel like that's something that I inherently know and that I maybe have lost touch with that.
Yeah, it gets covered up by our life and our programs and our patterns and all the things. Yeah, freedom is really a state of being.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm just thinking about just before we hopped on this call, my younger kiddo was like, can we go for a walk? And I was like, oh, I don't know. I don't have a lot of time. And, I want to try and be relaxed before I hop on this call with Sarah. And I was like, you know what? No, yes, let's go for a walk. We can get a walk and let's go do it. And we had a nice, wonderful, albeit quick walk. And I felt like we had some connection. We were laughing. We were out in nature. And I was very relaxed when I hopped on the call with you. So it was a reframe, like I can look at it as, oh, there's this other thing to do or this thing I get to do.
Yeah. And what that's like bringing up too is this idea of either or. We tend to do that to ourselves all the time. Yes. I can have this or this. But we really live in a world where we get to choose yes and. Like, everything can happen both, right? Like, yes to the walk and yes to the call. Like, we're in it.
Right. Yeah. Yes. That's so funny too, because it came up in a circle last night where we were talking about both anding, like, two things that seem like they can't both be true actually can. They can exist at the same time together. As it does, messages are going to keep presenting themselves until I listen. So message received. I am hearing that.
Yeah. And I was giggling when you're saying about putting two things together that don't seem to go together, because that is like how magic happens.
Absolutely.
Yeah. That's the place right in there.
Perfect.
Well, what are you taking away from our call today, my love?
I'm grateful for these reminders and this message really of getting back into my body as kind of the starting place for the way that I picture this, Sarah, is like I'm in my body and my heart is open. Those can both be true, right? I don't have to be up in the upper place to have my heart open to receive, open for messages, open for connection. And then really this reminder of like finding the fun and the spontaneity and the pleasure and just the moment in the everyday, instead of being like, okay, well, once I reach this goal, or once this happens, or once I'm working doing this much, or once this is all I'm doing, then I can have this, that, or the other thing. Why not now? Why not a little bit now? Why not a little bit at a time?
It's beautiful because what that speaks to is that you're not defined by your circumstances. You're
Right.
defined by what you believe is possible for you.
Right.
And that's like taking your power and saying, this is how I choose to live.
Right. Right. And I it's my power.
Mm-hmm.
That's the other thing, is that I know that, but like just saying that felt really powerful, that this is mine and I get to choose. And yes, I have a team that is advising me and guiding me and I'm listening, but at the end of the day, we're working together and I'm the one who has to do all the things, so I get to choose.
Yeah. And I'm really glad you brought that up, because that is something that as spiritualists and as we start on this intuitive journey, that we do inevitably give our power away to our guides or to our higher self or to whoever the angels we're connecting with. And it's like, no, you're the one in the body. You're the one that gets to choose. That's like, for me, like I love to teach about embodied intuition, because it really is saying I'm sovereign of my life. And I love the guidance. I love hearing what everybody's got to say. And then I get to choose what I do because I'm in the body.
Right. The way that I always pictured is like, I'm the physical representative of the team. Mm-hmm. And so, I'm kind of the spokesperson. And so I'm the one who is interacting in the world and doing the things and making the decisions, and they're just behind the scenes, kind of giving their information and opinions and feeding things through my intuition and all of that kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, they're like, okay, we're counting on you to make good choices out there.
Yeah, I love that way. I love that picture you paint with that.
It's like the CEO or something, even though I really love that analogy, but like, just being the representative of our unique team out here in the world, and that they've chosen me to do this work. And so, I want to obviously do the best job that I'm able to do. But to your point, I need to make sure that I'm taking care of my whole person in order to do that best job.
Yes. Sorry, my alarm went off.
I didn't even hear it.
Oh, you didn't? I have alarms set on my phone and they tell me things like, you are wildly magical. You are the truth. And that one went off. So you are wildly magical.
Amazing. See, that was just another message.
Yes. Oh, Heather, thank you. This has been so lovely. Thanks for being here.
Thank you, Sarah. I'm so grateful for your time and your intuitiveness and these messages. It's been really helpful.
Good. I'm excited for your journey.
Thank you. Me too.
All right, sweetheart. Thank you.
Thanks, Sarah.
Thank you for being here today and making your personal and spiritual growth a priority in your life. To learn more about connecting with your dreams and your intuition so that you can create a life full of possibilities, visit me at www.sarahnoble.com and see how we can create magic together. A big thank you from my heart to yours for making the planet a better place for us all.